Hey guys, I'm Phoenix here, and let's talk about the fun subject of copyright infringement. You see, 3 big cases have sort of popped up last week, actually. I was kind of waiting to see what would happen with some of them. But the first one is the H3H3 case, and this is a good benchmark for if you are creating a video and you do not know whether or not it is fair use or not. Basically, what happens in the case of fair use and transformative work is that you can take somebody else's video, and based on the amount of work that you do on it, it can potentially be used as fair use or transformative work. The idea being that you put enough of your content into the video that you basically make it a transformative piece of work. So you would then own the copyright to that transformative piece of work. And somebody else can come along and say, well, okay, I'm going to take that video, I'm going to add my own spin on it, and then thus that third piece of transformed work becomes somebody else's copyright. What you are not allowed to do is then take that transformed work and re-upload it to your own YouTube channel, for example, without the permission of the copyright holder. Because you are not taking that piece of work and making it into your own, you are literally just taking that piece of work and making it your own without any credit to the person who did all the work. Or persons. So, fair use and transformative work, they are reasonably clear-cut. The idea of fair use doesn't actually mean that the criticism is fair, rather more that it's fairly used. It's fairly altered, I should say. So when Matt Hoss attempts to take H3H3 to court over this idea that they have taken copyright and made it into their own, it was thrown out of court. The decision to say that yes, this is fair use, this is transformative work, was upheld, which is a very good thing because it now gives a benchmark for what can be considered fair use in court anyway. We had it in the past, the Jim Sterling versus Digital Homicide case, whereby Digital Homicide were trying to argue that the use of Jim Sterling's language in their video game was not fair, and thus they could sue him for an awful lot of money for some reason. And then that case kind of came to a close because basically Digital Homicide went out of business. And they're still around, unfortunately, but they did pretty much go out of business. So that was one case, and that was one case that really did show, the benchmark that we're talking about. So when we go into the next 2 cases that I'm going to talk about, you should kind of see a benchmark of what I personally would expect from fair use. So then we move over to a YouTuber called Bearing. Now, Bearing has had some issues with copyright infringement in the past. He has been DMCA'd erroneously by TED, and he has been hit with a copyright infringement issue over the use of his bear, and that was, right, really. He was using a bear from somebody else's work. It was a little bit dodgy, and he changed the bear as a result. And so we can come to this issue where one of his videos is taken by another YouTuber, re-uploaded to their channel, and that's it. It is literally just downloaded and re-uploaded. The entire video. Obviously this is not fair use, obviously this is copyright infringement, and this is the sort of situation whereby you would expect a DMCA to get involved eventually. And I don't know if the video is now no longer there. I don't know if it's because Bearing DMCA'd it or the YouTuber in question actually removed the video. Basically what Bearing had done was contact this YouTuber privately and say, look, I've seen you've done this, please take it down or else I'll have to DMCA it. Christy Winters had no response at this point, And so he did a rather more public, take this down now or I will DMCA it. You have 24 hours. Actually, I think he gave it 12 hours after the point of the public video. But he gave her an awful lot of chance, an awful lot of choice. And this is how I would assume the DMCA should be used. Give somebody a chance to take it down of their own accord, or else use a DMCA. Now, there is nothing wrong with just using a DMCA straight off the bat, but, you know, Bering did a reasonably polite, civilised way of just saying, please take this down. I really don't want to use a DMCA, but please take this down. And, yeah, and we saw the right way to do this sort of thing. And then we kind of go over to the Sargon of Akkad case. So Sargon of Akkad is currently being sued over copyright infringement. And I've seen the videos, or some of the videos anyway. I've seen the one he uploaded to Minds, and if you just take it as its face, you don't see parody there. He claims it's parody. What it is taking a before and after of the election, the American election, and stitching it together of the same YouTuber, and then claiming it's parody and fair use. I don't believe so. It's a very basic stitch job. It's adding no content of his own. It's a really, really simple edit, and I don't believe that would fall under fair use. I believe that the YouTuber on the other side, whose name I forget, but anyway, this you can. I'll put a link to Leonard French's video on the subject. Really, really good video. I do recommend his stuff for anything DMCA or copyright related. So you can have a look for yourself. But I would side with the suing party on this. I do believe that in this case Sargon has messed up. He did do quite a lot of putting little clips of other people's work on an alternative channel which no longer exists, and he got a lot of strikes on that channel as a result, and I believe that they're all warranted. Just taking somebody's video and then uploading it, even if it's just a clip of somebody's video and uploading it, does not make it your work. You have to alter it in some way. And I don't believe that altering can count as just making a 30-second clip of something. I believe that you actually would need to put your own voice, for example, or your own videotaped content onto it. There would need to be enough work done on it. So a good example of a fair use thing. We've got the H3H3 situation, but we've also got stuff that Sargon of Akkad or Tilde or whoever have done in the past. Honey Badgers would be another good example, whereby they take a piece of media, say a 3-minute long video. In the case of the Honey Badgers, actually, they will quite commonly take a 3-minute long video and turn it into an hour-long episode, because they've got so much to say about each point that kind of arises in the video. But, so stuff that Sargon's done in the past could be counted as parody. The video that he did rebutting the Angry Aussies points would possibly come under parody, in that he's using some dark humour to counter the Angry Aussies points. But that would also come under the use of fair use, because he's putting enough content into the original version of the video, enough of his own points of view into there, that it then makes it transformative work, and then he owns that copyright to that transformative work. Those are good examples of how to do fair use, and if you are coming out of this a little bit confused about how a DMCA should be used and how copyright infringement is being used, just look at these cases. Basically what you are dealing with, if you don't like something that somebody has said about something, a piece of media that you have produced, that is not worthy of a DMCA. That is worthy of you maybe contacting them privately and seeing if you can work out quite why they didn't like this piece of media, or this game, or whatever it is that you've created. If you do not like their criticism of it, then you contact them and you deal with it. Or you leave them alone. You do not hit them with a DMCA strike because it's erroneous. If, however, you believe that they have taken a piece of your work erroneously, then that is the time that you would use a DMCA. So, in the case of Bearing's situation, where Christy Winters has taken some of his work, has not altered it at all, and just re-uploaded it to her channel without the permissions of the copyright holder, that would be a good use of a DMCA, because that is ultimately copyright infringement. And on the other side of this, if you are making a video and you are unsure as to whether it's fair use or not, as long as you put plenty of your own points of view into that video, if you edit it substantially, then it becomes transformative and it becomes your own work. And there are plenty of examples of fair use work on YouTube. So with that, I will say thank you very much for watching this little video, and I will see you next time.